Alright guys, we're going on the nearly 100-year-old steam locomotive, Atsf 3751.
You feel how hot it is already?
Oh my gosh!
So whoever sits in this seat gets to ring the bell. You'll each get a turn to ring the bell. So
Okay.
whoever wants to sit there first, you can.
You wanna go first, Rusty? Okay, about to ring the bell, first thing.
All right, we'll get everybody up here first, and then we'll get set up for that.
So,
Yeah, I have an answer.
How fast can this thing go?
100 miles an hour.
huh? There's SoCal Transit Rider. Okay, so
Guys can come on in, take a seat up here. I'm gonna sit up here.
okay, so yeah.
Cool. Is this everyone, Sam? Yep.
Yeah, this is the interior of
What do you guys
3751.
wanna
This
sit
is
in
at
that
the
seat?
LA train show
You can
on
lean out the window and look
Sunday.
down.
Yeah, nothing fresh air.
Pretty tall, huh?
I'm taking a major risk
Guys,
by doing this, but
welcome
I'm doing
everybody.
it.
Just a quick safety thing. You guys are all good standing where you are, sitting where you are. As I'm talking, you're welcome to change places. Everyone can sit up there if they want. Don't have to. On that side, you're welcome to ring the bell. If everybody wants to ring the bell,
Yeah.
great. If you don't want to ring the bell, you don't have to. Last thing I'll say, this is the most important thing while you're up here. This engine was fired up this morning. It was really hot. This whole wall right here and this door are extremely hot, and I don't want you guys to burn your hands or anything else. So please don't put your hand here or on the block there. It's very, very hot. So you guys are going to get a very special cab tour though, because
Alright.
the one before you, they didn't blow the whistle at noon when they were supposed to. So you're going to get to be in the cab when we blow the whistle. Usually when we blow the whistle, what we do, 3 things. One person rings the bell, gets that going. 2, I will lean out of the cab and I'll say, we're gonna blow the whistle! That way everybody who's down there can plug their ears if they want.
Alright,
3
here.
is I come over here and I blow the whistle.
Alright,
So, you guys ready? Okay, once we do this, then we'll get the normal cab
Alright,
first.
here.
Record when we blow the whistle. Yeah, you can record.
okay, so
We're gonna blow the whistle!
oh, you got it? Here.
Alright, cool. So, the way you ring this bell the most effectively is you pull it down and then you let it go back forward. You keep your hand on it the whole time, but you'll feel as that's happening, that's the bell swinging. That's why you put your hand forward.
Alright.
So you pull down real hard, get it started, let it go, hard again. There you go, and keep doing that. You guys ready? Pretty cool, huh? So, welcome guys officially to the
Drive off
cab
and
of
get adventures.
3751. This is a 1927 built steam locomotive. It was built for the Santa Fe Railway, hence Santa Fe 3751 on the tender. This engine, when it was built, was a coal burner. It was converted to burn oil in 1937. It got a new tender a couple of years after that, and in 1941 it went to Albuquerque, New Mexico, where it was completely rebuilt. By completely rebuilt, the boiler is actually still the same. That is a 1927 boiler. But the big wheels were added then, a new frame was added then, other appliances and more modern upgrades were added then. So you're looking at a 1941 upgraded 1927 steam engine. This engine operated in La Junta, Colorado to Los Angeles, California, and it was retired in 1953. In 1958, it was donated to the city of San Bernardino, put in a park, sat there for 28 years. Kids
Jeez.
climbing on it, cats living in it, raccoons pooping on it. This thing was just out at a local park next to a playground. This group formed in 1981, and in 1986, how much do you think our group paid for this engine when we bought it?
50 grand.
50 grand? Anyone else?
$1.
$1. Anyone else?
55,000?
55,000, okay. Okay. 70? Okay. Anyone else?
It's probably going to be a ridiculously large price.
It's going to be ridiculous, but it won't be large. We bought this engine from the city for $1.
Oh, I heard that.
$1?
$1. We got it for $1. Again, a lot of work had to go into it. We bought it for $1.
Really?
We moved it to a new site, we restored it, and since then, this engine has run for 30 years. This engine, since it's been restored, has gone to Chicago once, it's gone to the Grand Canyon twice, it's gone to San Diego 4 times, it's gone to Sacramento once, and we've gone to San Bernardino about 7 or 8 times. We've gone to Union Station maybe 12 times. And right now, if this engine had to go out and run and pull a train, we are certified to do 90 miles an hour.
PTC.
And we are PTC certified. So, since you brought that up, I can show you guys what that looks like.
Oh, you're okay. You have to make any noise, bud.
So you guys want to wander over here. Obviously, this is a normal cab of 3751, but we've made a few modern upgrades. This is our radio here. This lets us talk with the dispatcher. This is the PTC screen. This is how we see what every other modern engine has. Now it is on 3751. So right now it's starting up. Yeah, you guys are welcome to ring the bell anytime you want to.
Oh, here.
Here, give me your phone.
Hey, you go.
Watch out. Let me give you.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna. Where's your phone?
Well, I just started it here, so. Oh, man.
Here, watch
That's
out.
definitely. I'm going to take it.
I'll ring the bell after.
Oh,
Yeah, we have those already.
So guys, I know you probably already know this, but real cool. This is where the engineer sits over there. That's the fireman. Over here for the engineer, this is the throttle. Have you guys seen the Polar Express movie? How many times have you guys seen it? A lot? More than you can count?
Probably more than.
So do you guys remember in the movie where they're going down the track and all of a sudden that pin starts bouncing all over the cab? This is the pin.
That's a lot bigger than a hairpin that they actually use to fix it.
Yep.
Oh,
So when they made the movie, they needed the steam engine for the movie. So this was the engine they used in that movie. This is the Polar Express.
I just thought it was like
Technically,
very
it's the Polar Express.
Technically, yes. So again, over here on the engineer side, that's the throttle. If I want to go forward, I put this big red lever forward. If I want to go backwards, I pull it back. If I want to just run the engine with no cars behind me, but I want to use the brakes, I use this little one here. If I have one car behind me, if I have 50 cars behind me, this big one controls all the brakes for the rest of the cars. Beyond that, what happens when it rains a lot and the wheels start slipping? You guys know what we do?
sand.
We put sand on.
Yeah, the sand.
And they still use that today on the modern diesels. So I have a little sanding valve here. If I want to put sand on the tracks, I just push that forward, drops it in front of the big wheels. So beyond that, there are a couple important things to look up here while you're running a steam engine. This one you guys can see when you look at this side or that side. This is our steam pressure gauge. That tells me and the engineer how much steam we have in the engine. We also have water glasses up here, this one and that one. They have a screen in front of them, but there's a little glass tube, not that big, there's water in it. Wherever that water is in the tube, that's how much water is in the whole engine, all the way to the front. So, that tells me if I need to get low on water, if I need to put more in. So I watch that water level the whole time we're going down the track. So if we move over here, we have the firebox door, steam gauge, we have the fireman's side. So we have the firing valve. This controls how much fuel goes from the tender into the firebox. If I want a really big fire, I pull this thing way out here. If I want a really small fire, shut this off, push it all the way that way. So the way we burn our fuel is we have real thick fuel. So reclaimed motor oil. When your parents go to get their oil changed, we get to burn it in the 3751. Pretty cool that we get to recycle it. So the way we burn it in here is we have a little thing like a waterfall. The oil rolls over that, and instead of just going straight down and splashing everywhere, we have a little jet steam spray under that. That vaporizes it. What do we do that then? We put a flame in there, it lights it, and it keeps relighting itself. That whole fire fills this whole room with flame. And all that heat travels through 300 tubes and flues in this engine. 300.
And it doesn't melt.
And it doesn't melt. So that heat travels through the tubes, 275, but if you round up 300. Once it gets to the front of the engine, it needs to go somewhere. It goes out the smokestack. So if I have a lot of black smoke coming out of my engine, that means I'm not burning the fuel right. That means there's a lot of unburned fuel going out. We call that a Hollywood stack, because in the movies, when you see a steam engine, what do you normally see coming out of the smokestack?
a whole lot of smoke.
A whole lot of black smoke. You know why they do that? Because it looks really cool. But when this engine's usually running, you can see a clear stack. You shouldn't see any smoke. That means the fuel is burning right where it needs to for the most efficient burning fire you have. But sometimes we have photographers come out, we want to put on a good show, we'll put some black smoke on there. So, firing valve, talked about the steam jet spray that vaporizes the fuel. That's called the atomizer. So we atomize our fuel. If we're sitting here stationary, the engine's not moving, the engine's not creating its own draft. As those cylinders are beating, they're pulling the heat through those tubes. What happens when we're sitting here? They're not doing that. We can't have any air go through there then. The steam can actually create its own draft using a steam pipe up front called the blower. The blower used to be here. It's now this big valve here. So I cracked that. That actually sucks air through the engine, and that's how I keep the hot air going through the tubes to boil the water to make the steam. So beyond that, do you guys have any questions? I want to keep it.
I'll bring it back.
That's okay. I'm good.
I'll bring it back in a little while.
Okay. Thank you, Warren.
Yeah.
Any questions?
Super cool engine.
Super cool engine. You guys are in the cab of 3751. You don't have any questions?
The guy said ask what all these mean.
Ask what all these mean. That's a great question. So, when you look up at these, they look really confusing, right?
Yeah.
You just want to start turning all of them. You don't know what they're going to do. So basically, it's like when you need to go home and you walk into your house and the lights are off. These are like light switches at your house. But before you can turn any of the small ones on, you got to turn this big one on. This one lets steam to all these other ones. So if I open this right now, it's not going to do anything because I didn't open the big one. So let's say I open that one and I want to heat the floor. We have floor heaters in this engine. So I can go over here. For this valve is a good example. There's a pipe that goes from the top all the way underneath, and there's piping underneath the seats here. That's how we heat the floor. We usually don't use those because it's not that cold out here, but when this engine used to operate, it went through really bad snowstorms. It actually got really cold in here, even when this engine's working really hard. So they had floor heaters. Beyond that, this engine also used to create heat for the passenger cars it pulled. Now, when you guys go and ride Amtrak and Metrolink today,
They have
you guys
HEP.
they have HEP and they use electricity. Do you guys know what they used before that? They used air, they used oil, they used kerosene, they used steam. The steam that this engine actually makes would go through a huge pipe, connect to each passenger car. They would steam heat all of those cars. So that's why you see up here, car heat, that used to be the steam to go to all the passenger cars to heat them that were behind the engine. Once they came out with electricity, they didn't need that. But we tried to keep the engine as historical as we could, so we left all of that steam heat piping on the engine and on the rear of the tender. You know, in case one day we ever pull cars that do that. Have our speedometer here. When this engine was pulled out of the park in San Bernardino, the tape that was in it, when we pulled it out and looked at it, that tape said this engine had gone 100 miles an hour. Pretty cool. Imagine being up here, leaning out the window at 100 miles an hour. According to the crews, this engine rode really smoothly. So maybe one day we'll get to do that again.
Wonder if it was as smooth as the Amtrak that took me here.
It might have been. So if you guys want, you can sit up here in the engineer's seat too. If you do, just please don't touch any of these because they're all set up and we don't want to mess those up. But I can take your photo if you want. You guys can take photos of each other. You guys can keep ringing the bell, and I am happy to answer any other questions
All right.
you have.
Jeez.
You want to ring the bell?
At the moment, I'm wondering why would you ever want a floor heater in this?
Right. What do you want?
If there was one other modification I'd make to this, you know what it'd be?
Huh.
Air conditioning.
Yeah?
Air conditioning.
You know when we turn on our air conditioning?
When?
When the engine starts moving and the wind blows in your face.
And then you turn on the air conditioning.
That's our genuine air conditioning.
Wait, have you ever went to Canada?
This
You gotta
engine
pull it
hasn't gone to
real
Canada.
Over, you have to pull it over there.
Gotta let it go forward again. Remember, let it go forward, pull back, forward, go back. There you go. Now you're ringing the bell. That's the one way up there at the very front.
All right.
You want to ring the bell, bud? Yeah.
Can you do it one more time? I need to get my phone.
All right.
Yeah, I'll get you up there, don't worry.
All right, guys. I think we're gonna have him ring the bell real quick, if that's okay.
What, you climb up?
Whew.
My wife's standing up here.
Yeah. Oh, buddy. You can do it? You wanna grab it here? All right, pull real hard.
Or that.
You get to lean out of the window and wave to everybody. You got it. You are a fireman now. All right, good job, bud. You got it. Got it down. You good?
The guy in the super liner saying, "You can get it for free."
Oh yeah. Well, that one. Yeah.
You know, Amtrak has some smart business going on with those because they're giving you like the taste of the luxury stuff. So then the next time you travel with Amtrak, you're gonna want to buy the luxury stuff.
That's smart marketing.
It is. And honestly, it's working on me.
It is working on you.
I want to travel back in one of those luxury.
That one is in case the engineer needs to ring the bell, he can actually pull it from here. We don't normally do that because the fireman's always here. But if there was an actual need for it, the engineer can't. And if the fireman needed to blow the whistle, same cord, you could pull it that way.
Oh, that's smart.
Well, cool guys. Well, if you're getting hot, you're welcome to step down. You still have some time here if you want to hang out, so you're welcome
Oh
to.
yeah, for sure. I want to ring that bell more. That's super fun.
Can I go to the front real quick?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a walk around.
Excuse me, bud.
Can someone replace it one more time then go?
Sure.
5 minutes? Or...
You want to replace or you go?
I can. I get 10 minutes to replace.
Last one. Let go. Let go. Good break. Let go.
Oh, yeah. Hot.
Owen, if I go to the front and I like give you a thumbs up, can you ring the bell?
Okay. Ready to go?
More bell.
Or you want to keep
Come on. There we go. That better, right? This is It looks like it is. How frequently do you need to replace the ropes on these things?
Oh, okay.
sit on this side?
Not going to replace it at all. Have them brand new. Barrels from it. Oh, okay. Sorry. I guess your time's up, folks. We got to bring another group up.
All right.
Sorry.
This is the
Thanks for
captain
coming on board to Santa Fe 3751.
Super fun, hot yet worth it.
We'll see you next time.
See ya.
Yeah,
Super hot, super worth it.
that's right. With superheated steam.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna add a walk around to this for sure. Just like, not even cut the video, just do the walk
Just make
around.
sure you don't step on the engine up front. Just kind of give it some space.
All right.
If you go down the same way you come up, just kind of facing towards the engine, it's safer. If you turn back this way and go down backwards, it's better. There you go. Mucho
All right,
better.
yeah, I was a cab tour at 3751.
I want you to turn around. Yeah, turn around. There you
All right.
go. Okay.
So that was a cab tour. Now I'm gonna give you guys a walk around of this. This is 3751. Brand new wheels, I heard from the guy.
There you go. Yes, I caught the video.
Can we do it? Can I do a walk around of 3751? All right, so got a little bit of steam come out there. Whew. Real hot in that cab, but real worth it. That's the bell. The pig. All right. I'm gonna walk around.
The big boy has
Alright, so yeah, this is a cab tour 3751. I'll do a separate video of 5704. Also Amtrak 203 is down there. 3751. Yeah. This 3751. Big, beautiful beast of a train. Definitely enjoyed it. Next time this happens, if you couldn't make it this year, whenever this happens again, come. If you can come for sure. Incredible experience so far. They have model trains. I haven't been to that area yet. I'll show you some of their inventory this year later. But yeah, this is Santa Fe 3751. There's a builder's plate right there. Baldwin Locomotive Works, Philadelphia.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
You just thought about it after I said it, so? I'm trying to go wide, but I'm waiting for these two.
Shout out to SoCal Transit Rider.
Excuse me.
Subscribe to SoCal Transit Rider. Awesome locomotive. Oh my god. Yep. Well guys, hope you enjoyed that. Super hot in the cab, super worth it. Peace.